finished up week 2 of the Bible mini-series, and I'm enjoying every week as we watch the Bible being illustrated literally from Genesis all the way through Revelation. You know, sometimes it's one thing to read about those stories, but to see them portrayed right before your eyes, it just kind of puts a whole new light on everything that God really was doing in the lives of people. You know, sometimes we read the Bible and it just feels like, oh, those are just words on a page. But they were real people in real situations, living real lives every single day, trying to find God in the midst of every situation. Tonight we started with a woman named Rahab. Incredible story of a woman who was called a prostitute. That was her reputation in the city. That's who she was. And yet that did not stop God from seeing the potential inside of her and using her. There's nothing about us. See, sometimes we think that our past can disqualify us, or even our present situation, maybe our reputation in our community or our school, even our workplace, can disqualify us from God using us. But God looks past our present situation. He looks past our past, and He sees who we are in Him. See, Galatians chapter 5 verse 1 says this. I love this. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. You see, when God reaches into our hearts and into our lives and He brings freedom, it's for His glory. It is for His glory. Look at Rahab, for instance, a prostitute the world had written off. She had not a good reputation at all. In fact, the world would say that she was useless, good for nothing, cast to the side. Nothing good could come from this woman. And yet, here is this woman in the lineage of Jesus. Now, logic would tell you that's completely ridiculous, but not for God. You see, in every situation, in every story, God will be glorified. His name will be made great. There's nothing in your heart and there's nothing in your life, past, present, or future, that can keep you from God's promises, that can keep you from what God has for you. Listen to this. I love this. One of the messages we are clearly intended to take to heart is our Lord's willingness, determination, to even ransom every human heart from slavery. Think about that. Rahab literally stood in the gap. She went against her people. Her whole life was changed in one decision, one moment, changed everything for her. What if she would have said no? What if in that one moment she would have said no? We would not know her name. But see, can I give you hope? Can I give you hope today, tonight, or whenever you're watching? One moment, one decision can change everything for you. And not just for you, for your entire family, for your lineage, every person that is coming behind you. There's no telling what God could do in one moment if you would say yes. So take some time today as you read through the Word, as you study the stories of Rahab, of David, even Saul. See what God is showing you. Let Him speak to you. Take some moments today as you read these stories, as you hear the heart of God in them. Let Him speak to you. Let your yes be loud in His ears. And this week, just as you study the Word, let that past of yours be the past. God says that He remembers our sin no more. In fact, He separates them as far as the east is from the west. So no more thinking that you're disqualified because of your past. Because God says you have a hope and a future, and His name is Jesus. This week as you study, enjoy the stories of the Bible. Let them become more alive in you than ever before, because the truth of His Word really is truth. Let it radiate through you and in you. We'll see you next week.